A sprawling city, swallowed long ago by the Mexican jungle, has been explored by archaeologists using the latest laser technology, LiDAR I think it's called, home to tens of thousands of people of the ancient Maya civilization around 1,300 years ago. The city of Calakmul was once one of the largest in the Mayan Empire. Dr. Catherine Rees-Taylor joins me now to consider the significance of the discoveries. Hello, Dr. Catherine. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is a fantastic story. I'm an archaeologist myself by training, long ago now, but it still runs in my heart, so these stories always affect me. So, was this city already known about by archaeologists? Was it already on the map?
Yes, actually, the city was discovered in around 1911. So we knew that the downtown of the city was there. And in fact, it's a major tourist attraction in the Yucatan Peninsula. But what we didn't know was the extent of the settlement around the city. There had been maps done of the city in the 1980s using a method that involves compasses and tape measures. And they proved to be very accurate, but they were hindered by their inability to get to the extent or the limits of the city because it takes quite a long time to map something. And with LiDAR, we could cover over 95 square kilometers in just a couple of days, giving us huge insights into the actual extent and limits of this ancient city and realize exactly how large it is.
How does LiDAR work? Is it lasers?
It is. It's a laser sensor that you put in a plane, and you fly the plane over a large geographic area, and it shoots the laser beams down to the surface of the Earth. It actually will measure everything that it comes into contact with, so you get a point cloud of data. And then with different mathematical algorithms, you can literally peel off parts of the point cloud to give you a picture of the surface of the Earth. It's used in mineral explorations, it's used in disaster recovery, it's used in looking at issues of forest sequestration and health of rainforests. Archaeology is just a lucky benefactor of this technology that has been developed for many other purposes.
So was it as though, you say it was found in 1911, was it as though archaeologists knew about the city centre, but this has been the opportunity to go out into the suburbs and follow
right. I mean, we know,
to the edge?
In the Maya area, the largest and tallest structures are in the city center. And when you're in the middle of a rainforest and you're walking along, it's unlike the English countryside. You can't see small buildings. You see the very large ones, but not the very small ones. And so the archaeologists knew a great deal about the huge palaces and temples in the very center, but very little about the people who lived there. It would be like understanding London with only an understanding of the Parliament building and Buckingham Palace and cathedrals in the downtown area, and not understanding anything about the people who lived all around the city.
And so what have you discovered? What was the society, what was the lifestyle of the ordinary Joes and Janes living in this city?
Well, we feel like we're just starting our research. We just got the LiDAR last May, so this is extremely new for us. We know that they're living in large apartment-like compounds with many huge extended families, multi-generational families with aunts and uncles and cousins, all living together and probably working together as a group. At Calakmul, we know that the densest part of the city is near the center, but that all of the landscape around it is modified for agricultural purposes in order to feed this huge urban population. We also know that the extent of the settlement, goes on and on and on. So far, we've only covered 195 square kilometers, but we don't have the exact limits of the city yet. At present, we think the city's probably about the same size as modern-day Amsterdam or Washington, D.C. I was looking for a British reference, but darn it, your cities are too big. So
that's astonishing. That's astonishing. I mean, this is 1,300 years ago that people were urbanised on that scale. It just beggars belief. But so why was such a huge and important and heavily populated place abandoned? Why isn't there just a modern day descendant of that city still populated?
Well, that's one of the questions that we're going to be asking, but it looks like at around 800 to 900 AD, the Maya underwent some significant climatic problems, a lot of droughts, and that these large populations in these in the rainforest maybe could not manage sustainable agriculture. So there may have been some environmental degradation and some problems with their agricultural system that was sort of exacerbated by this particular drought that came about at around 800. We also know there was warfare, and we look at movements of people and climatic change today. You all were just talking about migrations, and we see that in the past as well. And so we know that people were moving around, and eventually the cities just had to be abandoned as they moved on to areas that were more, more easy to settle in and make a living in with the agricultural technology available at that time.
Dr. Catherine Rees-Taylor, I could talk to you about this for hours, but sadly I've run out of time on it. But thank you so much for that contribution and for topping me.
As an archaeologist, you should come visit us.
I'm going to take you on that, but you've topped up my enthusiasm for archaeology in these past few minutes. Thank you very much, Dr. Catherine Rees-Taylor.
Thank you for having me.